Month and 5 days ago, we left our heroes.
Was it really that long ago?
Yep.
Yeah, it has been a long ass time.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
I would say it was
Um,
like a week and a half for me because of the house, and like another week and a half because of Tim's job, and then
I told Jordan Thursdays, and then he's the one that was pokey.
I think there was a Thursday somewhere that was for some reason we couldn't do it. Yeah. So I mean it's been
Yeah, I couldn't last Thursday.
Yeah, so you're in there too.
so it was like each of us had some reason.
Yeah.
finally, the planets have aligned.
Yep.
So, specifically, I remember that I think the party started in the trade district. I think Zoldak and Gizmo might have went to go hire somebody from the war district to watch over the goods. Rain went to go check out the science district. Well, no, actually, everybody together went to the inn at the very least, but that was after you got Sinai, who is the half elf, the guy that was dueling the other person, and basically you hired him to watch over your stuff. Everybody got a room, or I mean, we got like one single room or whatever that was big enough to hold everybody. There was Gizmo arm wrestled Bazkir,
All right.
who lost to Gizmo after Gizmo broke the table, and then everybody just started basically after Rain dumped food on Bazkir, other people started like throwing food on him, and the owner of the Dead Dragon Inn, Vanna, she basically told Bazkir that it's like, oh, you have to pay for another table. Like, however, he keeps breaking tables. The Dead Dragon Inn had food and stuff that had the duck blood sauce in it that everybody was very fond of.
No.
And nobody questioned how there's ducks here in the desert, but they're desert ducks.
You always need to question the ducks.
I think it kind of started with Sabib. Or no, I think then people went to Sabib to get 2 camels. Yeah, got Sinai, came back to the inn, right, all the inn stuff happened, basically, and then some people had, like, their downtime activities where basically either they just, like, turned in for the night. Rain went to the, science district and found, oh, I guess I can turn on the music, and found that there was well, I mean, basically saw some of the things that were to the science district, like that there were people giving, kind of like lectures out in the open, and other people were just kind of like reading books around, lounging, that kind of stuff. But there seemed to be a crowd of people that were in front of the library. And then she went to investigate. There were basically like town guards, or those that had the red emblems, that were for the protection of the city, standing in front and let Rain in because she wanted to, and she had a blue, kind of like sign on, blue sash, and she went inside the library, and some very strange things happened to her, and eventually she got knocked out and was kind of like in a sort of dream state or something, where she was interacting with basically her patron, as far as she knows.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody woke up, and it was the next day, and I believe Rain woke up in the library as well. And that is where we left off.
Yep.
Also, I will be good until 9 p.m. tonight. Oh, also we all leveled up. So, I think,
Did we?
yes.
Yeah, we all hit 13.
I'm pretty sure we at least did health last time.
You
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
did.
Yeah. I mean,
And-
you rolled a 1d8 right there, so that was your health.
And we all have the increased proficiency to 5 now, and
Oh right,
Yeah.
nice.
Don't know if I did spells or not? I don't know if I got any new ones.
Probably not.
I don't remember.
I mean, you could check, because we just got 7th level spells, so if you don't have anything there, then...
I don't, and I'm gonna cause a destruction to my left here because hands and my book are falling. Keep fan. Yay. Goddamn piece of shit. One 7th level. I don't even remember what. I don't even know if I looked at the spells actually last time.
So those that are in the room is May, Holly, Nira, Zoldak, Gizmo. Sinai is technically out with the cart, as far as you know. And Rain is in the library. And Bizkir might still be on the floor upstairs.
Right now, I don't feel like looking at that, and I'm pretty sure that's why I never got a 7th level spell. So, do it at the end.
Hey, you can just take Temple of the Gods.
I don't have it.
At 7th level, you do. It's Xanathar's.
I don't have Xanathar's.
It's a pretty sweet ability.
Yeah, except I have to do it for, what, 5 years or some bullshit to make it permanent?
1 year, I think.
Oh, right.
1 year. Yeah,
One year to
Jordan
make it permanent, but...
Jordan talked about it last time. He's like, that's a nice place for Gizmo to retire. I was like, yeah, except I gotta go back there the whole year.
Although
we're on an adventure, I gotta go back to my big building.
Yeah.
Although it lasts 24 hours, so you just fucking slam it down, we go inside, you long rest, you get it back, and we're all perfectly safe within the arms of Zeus.
I don't know if I want to be cuddled by Zeus. At least not yet.
May is not okay with cuddling or
To
human
hear you say
interaction.
that- To hear you say that's very shocking to me.
Yeah, so Rain was off at the library, and the rest of the group, I think we had. I'm trying to think. I think it was something where like we all had decided to go to bed for the night. Or
Mhm.
It was something where like we were, none of us really noticed that Rain had been a while coming back.
Right, so I mean, come the morning, as everybody's waking up doing morning rituals, I mean, it's kind of like the, I don't know if it's just like that, kind of like it's in the air or the elephant in the room, but everybody's kind of just realizing that, yeah, like Rain never came back during the night.
Yeah. So, Zoldak's gonna... Well, I mean, I guess at some point, like you said, as he's doing his morning routine, getting up, getting ready for the day, just kind of determining what his plans are. He's gonna, of course, bump into, I'm sure, like Gizmo, May, and Holly at some point. Check on what was our guardsman's name?
Sinai.
Sinai, that's it. Yeah.
I'm about to RP the shit out of Gizmo. Gizmo's morning ritual is to get up, pray to his Lord and Savior Zeus, and
then he's gonna
glamorous look and polish the little medals that he has made himself out of odds and ends for his arm wrestling.
Okay. He's gonna go to his rack of arm wrestling medals and make sure that they're up to date, and perhaps now you need to craft one for Bezkir, another one down.
did out of the trailer like he broke.
Although, actually, I think there was mention of...
Tournament.
Yeah, there is actually a tournament. I didn't write that down, but it's in my memory. But yeah, I believe that there is a...
The innkeeper said something after I
yeah.
Spears' ass.
Yeah, it was like 3 days later, something like that, or like a week
Yeah,
maybe.
perhaps.
Was
Yeah.
the largest thing in the town or something. All of these desert people have nothing else to look forward to but arm wrestling.
Damn straight.
Zoldak's gonna eventually notice, though, that Rain is not around, and just kind of, you know, maybe bump into May at some point. Say, "Hey, May, have you seen Rain around here? Did she head
May.
off somewhere?"
And he's just like, I mean, I slept pretty well last night, but no, I don't think she crept in at all.
There's just no doors.
I wonder if she got like a separate room or something and didn't want to sleep with all of us.
Maybe. So then, yeah. I would have thought she would have come back, and she didn't. I don't know if she had intentions of separate plans. Let me go see. Maybe the one of the innkeepers or the noticed her come in last night. So Zoldak's gonna go down to the front desk and.
So the rooms of this place are actually in the basement, so whenever you leave, it would technically be like going up.
Yeah, so he's gonna go upstairs then.
Okay.
That makes us feel good.
Well, it's a little bit cooler in the basement, man.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, so he's gonna go up the stairs and approach
So-
the innkeeper.
Yep.
or whoever.
so whenever you leave the room, like it's like open up the door, you actually hear Sanai's voice yelling just from somewhere in the distance, probably just like at the top of the stairs. Like you know, you can't see him anywhere around, but he's just like, Zoldak and others, come quick, there's a fire.
Yeah, Zoldak's going to, if anybody's nearby, like any of the rest of the group, they'll say, "Come on," and then.
Yeah, everybody in the room actually hears it as well. Like now that the door is open and stuff, like it's pretty. Like the hallway that's in here is like pretty, like not super huge. So I mean, it's like everything carries pretty well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean like May and Holly are just gonna like grab their stuff and just like, all right. I mean, you know, it's like everybody kind of had like their morning part, so everybody's kind of like ready to go. So does everybody get up?
Yep.
He's gonna started drinking and then doesn't give a shit.
Okay. So, May, Holly, Zoldak, and I mean like Nira's gonna go as well, I imagine.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, you know, everybody like runs to go to the stairs and go upstairs, and yeah, you can actually see that there is like smoke and everything up there. Like just like a light haze, not that it's like overpowering or anything. And, I mean, like Sanai's not at the top of the stairs, so assuming everybody just
Zoldak's going to,
continues.
yeah, I mean, he's gonna try to look and figure out like where's the fire coming from, and is the
Right.
is the cart safe?
Yeah. So, you know, like coming to the stairs and seeing the smoke, you know, May hesitates a little bit, but then like Holly's behind him and is like pushing him up the stairs, and he's like, you know.
Oh yeah, 'cause of the fire.
Yep. So, okay, so everybody makes it to the top of the stairs, and whenever you get up here, there's nobody in like the main room that you can see, like nobody behind the bar or anything, but outside of the windows that you can see, it is just like a roaring fire. Like the outside of this place is just completely on fire, which doesn't exactly make sense because it's made out of like the adobe stuff. Like there isn't very much wood, so. But there's like clearly like some large fire that's outside, and it just from any of the windows or exits or entrances and stuff that you can see, there's just fire. So like the smoke is pouring in.
You made somebody mad. Lord Rain set the building on fire to be an asshole. Gizmo's assuming.
So, well, Gizmo, are you upstairs?
Gizmo is already hammered and stupidly wanders up the steps behind them.
Okay.
He brushes
And-
his teeth with his ale, and he continues to drink it.
Yeah.
Just like, who turned the heat on?
Yeah.
Why is
Yeah.
the fireplace going this early in the morning?
Yeah, May just kind of is just like paralyzed, is not really doing anything. Holly is just trying to like look around and just, you know, kind of like seeing if there's anybody there.
May in the back of the head to keep going.
Zoldak's
Yeah.
going to
Gizmo makes his comment about Rain. He's like, Rain probably started this. Like, what?
Zoldak's going to speak to to the rest of the group. One at first in common, then in Elvish, so Holly can understand. He says, "You all get outside, check on the wagon, and make sure everyone's okay. I'm gonna go back down and make sure nobody else is in the building." And Zoldak's gonna dart back downstairs.
Okay.
I'm surprised nobody brought up the fact that Gizmo is a pyromaniac.
I'm gonna make sure that, and I'm also gonna look for
Anyway,
Rain while I'm down
You burnt
there.
down the end of the
Made
welcome
from
wench.
omelet, yeah.
Gizmo again.
Yeah. Wait a second.
You're not there, so you can't bring that up.
Yeah, May wasn't there, so. Nero remembers
I
though, I
think it's
guess.
funny that nobody said anything.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just like drunk and you're like, who started this? I'm like, so yeah, so Nira and Holly, you know, like Nira goes to like open up the door and like the door handle's really hot, so like Holly has to kind of like pull out her dagger and is like careful in like opening it or whatever, but whenever she opens up, it's just flames. I mean, she can't even see outside. She doesn't even want to like, you know, like you'd have to risk jumping through it, but you don't know if there's more flames behind it. So she is just kind of like at a standstill, and May at this point is just like clutching the bar and just like kind of like staring at the door. You know, he's kind of like far away from it. One thing though is that there's no fire on the inside of the inn.
Which is weird. Wonder who's
Yeah.
taking notice.
Zoldak's going downstairs, banging on all the doors, just shouting, "There's a fire! Anyone in there?"
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
as you're banging on them, they just, most of them loosely open. Others, are closed, and if you try the handle, all of them are open. There's nobody that you can find, and nobody responds. There's no sounds that you hear, anything. Just slightly more smoke is making its way down into the basement.
Yeah, Zoldak's becoming more puzzled as he's going
I feel
through.
like
And finding
everyone
more,
left and set this for us. It's a trap. It's a tarp.
he
That's-
checks all the rooms. He's thorough about it. But
Yep. Yeah. So you can just go ahead and roll like 2 investigation checks. So you definitely don't find anything, and you don't even find any like possessions or any sign that anybody left hastily or anything. Every room just looks like as if it's like basically our room whenever we went into it. Like it's prepped for the next tenant. Like there was nobody in these rooms.
Yeah, Zoldak's becoming even more puzzled and concerned, but once he finishes, he goes back upstairs.
Okay. You come up
and
to
just-
a scene of the front door is wide open with flames that are there, but they're not coming in. Like they're not blowing in or anything. The front door is wide open. May is, kind of just like whatever, like awkwardly leaning his side against the bar and just staring at the door. Holly and Nira are basically investigating the door. Gizmo is mumbling, and you see him like rubbing his hands in his teeth and talking about some dwarven toothpaste that is way better than human toothpaste.
Gizmo's drunken stupor. Do I believe that the fire is an illusion?
You can
Where's
roll.
sunlight?
You can. Sure. roll insight.
My insight's actually really good.
You are not sure.
Damn it. Gizmo, in his unsureness, starts eating the fire.
Okay.
Picks up a piece of it.
So, where do you take it from? Like the window or the front door?
The window.
Okay. So yeah, you go up to the window and you feel like extreme heat whenever you go for it, and you take 3 fire damage. But I mean, you just grab at it and it just like nothing seems to happen. Like it doesn't even move to whenever you grab it.
That's weird.
But I mean, you take 3 fire damage for putting your hand in fire.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Zoldak's just kind of when he gets up there and sees what's going on, he's like, "There's no one down there, and it doesn't even look like there was anyone else here. All the rooms are neat and tidy. What's going on?" And where's Sanai at? Zoldak's looking around.
Sinai is not in sight.
So Zoldak's gonna approach the
Really,
window,
the cart's gone.
or the window, and just shout out, "Sanai, are you out there?"
Yes, come on, come outside!
He's like, "Where are you at? There's no one else in here."
I'm just outside, come on, come out quick!
Zoldak's going to he wants to roll an insight to that because he's highly suspicious of everything that's going on right now.
Gizmo, in his drunken stupor, wants to jump over the fire.
Oh.
So, with that insight check, you can tell, not that you've heard Sinai too much, but you actually get the sense that this is somebody trying to impersonate Sinai. Like, you're just like, I don't think this is Sinai. Like, I think this is just somebody, like, you can tell that they're, like, actively trying to impersonate Sinai, like, specifically, but you get the feeling that it's not actually him.
Yeah. Zoldak just kind of mumbles to the rest of the group, That's not Sanai. That's someone pretending to be Sanai."
Can I jump over the fire?
At the front door.
Yep.
Okay.
Gizmo makes a comment that I have armor I need to make. I can't stay in here.
Okay, so Gizmo saying that, talking about Clangor and the armor, he runs for the front door and leaps. Make an athletics check. Okay, so I mean, it's what's expected from a dwarven leap, I guess.
Oh, whatever.
They're natural sprinters, but whenever he goes for the jump, it doesn't seem like he goes any higher. He just kind of has his feet off the ground suddenly and just goes through the fire. Gizmo, everything to you turns black.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, what's the other side of the fire? His drunken coma instantly is gone, and he readies his hammer and his shield.
Okay.
And is pissed. He's like, he says something very not happy and dwarvish. Basically, like, what the hell's this shit again?
Yeah, for you, it sounds just kind of, like, very quiet. Not, it just, like, the roar of the fire is finally gone. There's no more smoke or anything. It's just,
Doesn't matter.
it's just randomly quiet.
Still, what the hell is this shit again with Gizmo? Pissed. He's tired of going into blank room.
So, I guess
Zoldak.
yeah, at this point, I guess, like, May or somebody else would be like, Gizmo? Like, there wasn't even a sound? Like, are you out there? And there's no response.
Zoldak's gonna say, it's a trap, it's a trick, it's all an illusion. Someone out there is pretending to be Sinai and baiting us out. Zoldak's just gonna call out, "I know you're a fake. Why don't you just cut the games and show yourself?"
Hold on. Does Zoldak really believe that Gizmo would be taken captive?
Not necessarily taken captive, but he knows there's some sort of weird...
think there. Like, Gizmo is the last person to get captured. I would instantly thunderwave the building down before I got captured.
So, I mean, not that she's particularly aiming at anything, but Holly just shoots her bow through the fire and doesn't hear it hit anything, doesn't hear it stop on anything. She puts up her bow and just, like, grabs... actually, I'm pretty sure she has 2 daggers, right? Yep. She just grabs her daggers and just, like, you know, basically spits and says something in Sylvan and points at May and then just runs through the fire.
Yeah, Zoldak just kind of, like, rolls his eyes and is like, it's gonna be one of these kind of days. And,
Screw you! Gizmo took an initiative and then I got sucked into nowhere land.
Looks like they're following you.
Gizmo, roll a strength saving throw.
Right.
Okay, so, yeah, you ready your hammer and your shield and stuff, you know, I mean, you're pacing around, it seems to be completely dark here, and then suddenly, I mean, you have dark vision, yeah, Holly just seems to kind of appear out of nowhere and, like, run into you, so you just kind of, like, hit her with your shield, and she gets knocked over onto the ground, you know, and she's just, like, just hurriedly scurries up or whatever and just has her daggers ready and is just kind of like feeling around. She can't see. Like, you can tell clearly she's just kind of like, you know, just looking around rapidly.
Does she not have dark vision?
No, she's a human.
No. I tell her in Elvish that there's nothing to worry about. It's just an empty dark room.
Yeah, so like the moment you begin to speak, she like turns immediately to her or towards you, and just like you can see just like on her face is just completely feral and it's just like like she's about to attack, but then as you know, like more of it comes out, she realizes it's you, and then she's like so, and then you know she stands up and reaches out her hand and just like has her hand on your shoulder, and she just seems to keep like, you know, being like a bird and like moving her head around and seeking.
She's worried.
Yeah. I mean, she can't see, but she just, like, has her hand on your shoulder and is just like, Okay, so Zoldak.
yeah. Zoldak's,
Don't forget May, he won't jump.
yeah,
Yeah.
Zoldak's just gonna say, I hate this, but it looks like we have no choice. Let's just... I'm going.
Yeah, Nira's like, I'll be right after you. It seems like everybody else is okay.
Yeah. Zoldak's then gonna jump through.
Yep, and Nira will be, like, right after you. So, Gizmo, now that you're expecting people, you know, as they leap through, you just kind of, like, either stop them or help stop them. Zoldak, roll a dexterity saving throw.
They both have dark
Oh, Jesus
vision.
Christ.
That was the DM who rolled.
Correct.
For what?
Zoldak, roll a dexterity saving throw.
You will see.
Okay. Basically just, I was making sure that whenever you came through that Holly wouldn't, like, that you wouldn't hit her and she wouldn't react to it, but she was standing in a good spot, so whenever you come in, she doesn't, like, randomly freak out or anything.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, bump into her, and Nira comes in after you. Obviously, nobody sees what May does, but after, like, 20 or 30 seconds, he finally just, like, comes through. Except
Giant
he's...
angry monster.
Except, he doesn't seem to be, like, leaping or walking or anything. He has his hands on his face, and he's just walking.
Yes, but he can't. He wouldn't be able to see either.
Light fell
Yeah,
on.
so eventually... Right, yeah, so eventually he would just be, like, walking forward and, like, you know, like, bumping you guys, and he would just be like, huh! And, like, open up his eyes, and exactly, he would reaches his hand down, and the light belt activates, and finally Holly's like, oh, you know, like, oh, whatever. Finally I can see. So, what everybody sees is that in about like a 5-foot radius around everybody. Hold on, let me. Okay. So like in a 5-foot radius is basically just kind of like a curtain. Like that's what it looks like, and it goes up to the ceiling.
We're like outside, or I guess it's a
It's
secret, so we're
it's
not
completely dark aside from what May just clicked on the light belt, so you can clearly see that like the curtain is just kind of like this really deep blue with this kind of like just like wiry reddish design into it. You know, it's kind of like velvety looking, kind of fancy. Not that it's like it's opaque curtain, not like you could see outside of it.
It's like a stage curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except not like super tall. I mean, it's like 10 feet probably to the ceiling.
It was only a matter of time before something like this happened. Not
Yeah,
this specific thing, I mean,
right.
but,
And
like,
the only
sure.
reason you can kind of tell that it's a curtain is because it's kind of like rippled and stuff. I mean, you know, it's like just imagine. Use your brain power.
Gizmo drinks too much to have brain power.
Yeah, he's like, this is completely normal.
Curtains? I see curtains every day.
Yep. So basically, any of the just
Well,
passive
you have
perception.
one choice.
Yeah, nobody really hears anything. Just the curtain seems to be very quiet. It's just very dark. Aside from me.
Yeah, Zoldyck's just like, well, we only have one choice, and he reaches out to move the curtain out of the way.
Okay. Yeah, he feels around for a couple seconds, you know, trying to look for a part in it, and finally you get it. Yep, and just both hands opens it up, and you can basically see whatever, like that there's light finally. I mean, like the curtain was closed in such a way that was like completely blocking all light. But you can kind of just see like a bunch of shelves with books. And you appear to be inside of a library.
Oh shit.
First.
Yeah, Zoldyck's just like, huh. Okay. Well, come on,
This is a
we
note
have to
that I
continue.
actually forget, but did Rain tell everybody that she was going to the library or just to the science district?
The science district, I do believe.
Okay.
Gizmo's worst mortal enemy is books, so he instantly thunderwaves the entire building.
Okay. I mean, I think I was like, I think Thunderwave has like a range of 15 feet or something, but please do that.
I can shatter the building.
You can shatter what you can see of the building. This building seems very large. Like, straight ahead, not that, like, you know, you're peeking around outside of the curtain too much, but it just seems to be, like, you know, 2 rows that just has books and stuff, and you can see most of the light is pouring into what's kind of like a central area. Because you can see, like, way further in the distance that there's, like, on, like, another balcony or something that there's even more books and shelves and all that nonsense.
Alright, guys, everyone, follow me. Let's figure out what's going on.
Yep, so May, once the curtains open, aside from just some, like, auxiliary light, he doesn't really need the belt anymore, so he actually just clicks it off. But, yeah, I mean, Holly's just, kind of tweaking out and just, like, looking at everything. May mentions he's like, oh yeah, I've heard of libraries, but I've never seen like so many books in my life. Like, I've seen journals of some other druids and just like notes that they've taken and stuff like that, but this is immense.
Hello to viewers who are watching. It's our ongoing D&D session.
Right. Zoldyck just kind of keeps moving forward, like, anxious to get through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if
as we library call, I'm gonna go AFK for a couple seconds.
okay. So Zoldak, assuming that you're kind of just like leading the group, I mean, May's kind of like looking at the books. Holly is just kind of like very close to May and is just like not really, I mean, it's just kind of like the order of everything. She's just kind of like, oh, this is unnatural. Like, it's too much civilization, too much like order and stuff. So eventually, I mean, you walk forward to the, basically to a balcony, and you can see that there's kind of like a big circular-ish area. A lot of the bookcases and stuff on the bottom floor seem kind of like squared off, but there seems to be 3 levels to this library, and I mean, it's just books and all that stuff, and like hanging like lights and just tables and stuff like that around, but you don't hear or see anybody. So now I will cut to Rain. So Rain, whenever you wake up, it was before you... Basically, there was the book, I believe, that said Rain on it. And you opened it up, and then it just turned to black, and then she had that, and she woke up. I believe she still had the book in her hand, but it did not say Rain anymore.
Yeah.
And one previous book that she saw was, it was like How to Get Away with Murder or something.
Yeah, that
was another one of the books. Yeah. So now you are awake on whatever floor you were on, probably the 3rd.
Okay, yeah, so I guess Rain would awaken and just page through the book quickly.
Yeah.
Seeing that it has no text on it, which is, I think, is what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it
Correct.
something else? Okay, so she's
it just seems to be, like a random book. I mean, you're just paging through it and you're like, this doesn't have to do with me at all. Like, I mean, it's just talking about how to grow tea whenever it's too cold. Like, it's literally just a book on like frozen teas. Like,
okay, I would say she's like she's like paging through it, and as she's noticing that it's nothing about her, she's slowly taking the focus off of the book and more like onto her hand, especially the one that she uses for like casting, and then remembers what happened and like kind of like shocked, like drops the book and like looks at her hand that like whatever like the finger of death spell had come out of, and it's just kind of like looking at like back and forth, like what's wrong with my hand? Is my hand okay? Is it like burned?
Right. So as far as I remember, there is actually a handprint on her arm, like on her forearm or something. Yeah. So that's basically the only thing. Is just like, okay, so that like wasn't a dream or something,
I guess she would wonder if it's like magical. Does it like maybe like an Arcana check or something to be like, is this like is this magic?
Is it something that she has ever heard of before? So you believe that, yeah, perhaps this is some form of like magic tattoo or something, because it's not ink, it's not, anything like that. In terms of properties or anything, it's not like a handprint is a symbol or anything like that, but yeah, you do believe that this is was magically imprinted.
Okay, so she like touches it with the other hand. It doesn't like have like a texture, or it doesn't like hurt her when she touches it or anything.
Correct. It's purely cosmetic.
Okay. I guess she would get back up, and when she was in the like kind of vision, she couldn't read any of the text. It was all blurry. I guess she starts like pulling tomes from the shelves. Like, can I read this? Is this words? Yes. Yep. Like, I guess.
Yeah, she can see all the words. Yeah, I mean, this particular section seems to have to do with like agriculture. So, I mean, it's like most of the ones that she's pulling are probably not of interest to her, but she can finally see the words.
Okay. If she remembers where that like the hidden part of the library was or whatever, like not the hidden, or like where like the rare books were.
Yeah.
I guess she would like that would pop into her head, and she would like try to fly down there.
Okay.
Again.
So yeah, you go to the edge of the balcony and you go to fly down, and as basically you're assuming that you're completely alone here. you go to fly, and then you're like coming down to the second floor, and you're like, oh wait, and you see Zoldak and basically everybody else, and Zoldak as well. You see Rain, like using her wings coming down from the third floor, and yeah, so basically May would just be like, Rain, like, is that her?
Yeah, Rain kind of like stops, like the wings kind of like push hard, and she kind of like stops for a second, like what the fuck?
Yeah, like,
and then like glides down.
Yeah, so they're like on the opposite side of the second floor, like from where you were. Yeah.
Right.
So May's just like, you never came back last night.
Rain's like, back last night? What? Last night? It's what?
Yeah, we all went to sleep and woke up and you weren't there, and then there was a fire completely on the outside of the inn.
Rain just like remembers like the fire from her like dream or whatever. It's just like, whatever, and the vision of like the red or whatever from the whatever that is, like Hamlet, and it's just kind of like it's like fire. Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like rubbing her head like no. I guess if nobody would like kind of say anything, she's like, well,
are you all right, Rain?
I don't know, but how did you get here?
That is a good question.
We're magic of some sort. This is the library, like in in Ammon, right? Like,
yes, and
just to confirm, we're not in some sort of alternate dimension library type thing.
No, this is the library, and when I came here, there were guards saying that there was some kind of magic here, and they were quarantining it because people were getting hurt, and I came in, and now you guys are here, which certainly confirms the problem that there's some kind of magic at work in this library, and we should all be very careful.
So everybody hears this for most of the party for the first time, but you just hear kind of like a faint whisper through the library that's like, or is there, or is there, or is there?
I guess Rain turns and she's like, shut up!
Yeah, I mean, just the shut up echoes throughout the library, and May is just like, so are we not alone here?
No, there's these incessant whispers, and there was something sealed in a bookshelf or a tome or something, and I threw some books at me. I don't know, but I think that the key to this is in the the rare selection of the library, which is on the first floor. Pay no attention to the whispers; they just keep going over and over.
Okay, well, let's go there.
Rain like kind of like over her sleeve like rubs her like mark,
Yeah.
and just kind of like growls like, you son
Yeah.
of a bitch.
Yeah, so I guess just like if May and the rest of the party want to try to find stairs to get down to the first floor, more towards one of the sides, there's just kind of like descending stairs. It just kind of seems like all the stairs are in one spot. They're not spiral or anything. They're all just straight. It's just that from the first floor to the second floor is one set, and then like over to the right 10 feet is like the next set that goes up. So it's all pretty like straight.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom like real quick while you guys do this, but
Okay.
I'm gonna fly down my normal way.
So Zoldak's gonna try to get because I mean he hasn't seen the library yet, but he's gonna kind of
just do the slow pace. Yeah.
the kind of slow pace search, size up what's in front of him.
Yeah. So the second and third floor bookcases all seem to be in a circular formation. I mean, the balcony and these levels are all kind of just in a circle. On the first floor, they just seem more like squared off or like rectangular.
Not as fancy.
Yeah.
Fancily arranged.
Yep. So, as everybody is descending the stairs, you hear another whisper where it says, "Don't trust her. Don't trust her. Don't trust her."
Gizmo yells at it and says that you're not the one to be trusted, and then puts his holy symbol in the air, and it starts to glow.
Okay.
All right, I see no initiative order. This is good.
So as the party was walking down the stairs and you're just kind of flying down, you hear that the library, in fact, roll a perception check, Rain.
My perception's but
Okay.
my passive is 10.
You hear that the library is whispering something, but you can't quite make it out. I mean, it could just be like, it kind of just sounds like the pages shuffling or something. Like, it could have just been nonsense, but...
Right, I guess I never, like, summoned my familiar. I guess, like, Rain would probably want to do that at some point.
Okay.
How long is that spell? Probably a minute.
I have no idea.
Oh shit, the cast time is an hour.
Probably
What?
because it's up permanently.
Yeah. Whatever. Guess I'm not doing that.
What are you trying to do?
The summon familiar.
Oh, God, it's an hour? That's fucking horrible. It wants you to bond with him over your summoning of him.
Yeah.
Right? All
They're
right.
like,
So
with your name.
could Rain try to like listen a little bit more closely, or is that like a?
I mean, like it's kind of like in the past or whatever.
Right.
But so yeah, you're on the first floor, and the rest of the party, like wraps around and comes down. Zoldak, was there anything in particular, or were you just trying to get a sense of the layout?
Just a sense of the layout.
Okay. So, yep, everybody's caught up to Rain, so if Rain wants to lead the way to, like, kind of the air quote restricted area.
Yeah, and on the way there, she's gonna kind of stop and turn to everybody and be like, "Look, I don't know what could be in there. I don't want to talk about what was in there. Just everybody be on your guard." Like,
Already am. Zolak says as he,
yeah, like,
he has his weapon drawn.
So yeah, Rain will lead.
Okay.
Walking.
Yep, so on the... so as the party went down the stairs, they noticed that, there seemed to be kind of, grand doors straight ahead off of the stairs coming down. But you, kind of turn around, so you know that Rain is leading you to kind of, the back right of the first floor of the library. So, yeah, you eventually make it there, and, I believe the velvet thingy is, still down, or unless you put it back up. I think you might have actually put it up. Or not.
No, I don't think I touched it. I think I just knocked it over.
Oh, yeah, you Eldritch Blast it. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
I just knocked it down just in case.
Yep, okay. Yeah, so it's still knocked down and everything. Yep.
Rain still, steps over it. Not gonna touch it.
Yep.
And yeah, leading them back into the area.
What are you looking for? What are you looking for? What are you looking for? Yeah, and I mean, just everybody, again, is just like, alright. Alright, what the hell? May is just like, I think I'm just gonna start ignoring it.
Just yell at it, just shut up.
Oh, also, you heard Gizmo earlier say something like, "You're not the one to be trusted." Like he just kind of yelled that.
Oh no.
Rain would have
Okay.
definitely heard that.
What did they say about trust? Was that when I was AFK?
Yeah, like Rain didn't hear it, but you did hear Gizmo after the whisper say, "You're the one not to be trusted."
Okay.
Can I do a religion check to see if it's like a demon?
You can do whatever you want.
Oh.
Um,
Gizmo prays in the corner.
yeah, you don't think that. Yeah, like religion has anything to do with the voices or anything like that.
So just being a pain in the ass to be a pain in the ass.
Or something.
All right. So assuming we approach the double doors, are they closed?
The double doors?
I thought you said there were double doors, or is it just down into the restricted section?
The restricted section is just kind of gated off.
Okay.
Like it has high up. It's just normal books here. I mean, everything seems to be like a lot older, like almost like less taken care of in terms of the shelves and stuff. Like they're obviously like a lot lower. They're not like all the way up to the ceiling, and
Right.
there seems to be more like scrolls, like well, whatever. Like I don't know how to describe
old
it.
text.
Yeah, like a big cylinder of scrolls rather than like books. So it's kind of just
Right.
you can tell that everything here is like a little bit more dated.
So Rain is gonna walk back toward like where like her patron event was, like where that happened,
Um,
like inside.
the patron thing happened after you read the book upstairs.
Oh, right, right. Is there anything around here that is like an
The last
item?
time that you were up here is whenever you heard that book fall down. It actually is what happened.
Right, right. That makes sense. Is there a book on
Yeah.
the ground now?
There's yeah, you don't see anything like in the way of where you're walking or on the floor anywhere.
All right, I guess Rain will turn and kind of shrug, like I thought something would be here.
Yeah, in this specific corner, since it's darker, May did actually like turn on his light, and he's just like, "Yep." I mean, it just looks like more stuff to me.
Hmm. Zolrak's just gonna kind of say, "Well, why don't let's investigate a little more thoroughly. Maybe here, maybe I don't know if there's some sort of like where the master librarian, office would be. Maybe we can find something there."
Everybody hears kind of like a scraping sound go throughout the library, just like. It just kind of sounds like somebody just slid a chair against the floor. I mean, it obviously has like the more hollow, woody sound to it, but
Right.
it's not like an old man dying.
Rain will announce to everybody, like, this happened before. It's whatever it is going to lead us around on a wild goose chase.
Gizmo wants to do an investigation check to find all the religion books. Oh. I'm gonna do a religion check to find. Oh. God damn it.
In your immediate area, Gizmo does not see anything related to. I mean, there is stuff about like religion, but it's just talking about like really old. Not to use the word pagan, but pagan, just kind of like tribal or culty, religions and stuff like that. And it's just like
religion to Gizmo.
And it's just like, here's a spell to impregnate somebody, and here's one to
never
make the
mind.
rivers run red. It's like, oh, what the hell? Like,
I guess Rain is gonna kind of walk over to like slightly away from everybody, so like maybe people don't immediately see what she's doing, and like pull off just some random scroll and just like kind of like looking over her shoulder back, like slowly start to like and quietly like rip it. Just
Okay.
like see if there's some kind of reaction of like the destruction of the scroll.
Okay. So yeah, as you start to do that, make a dexterity saving throw.
The buck monster.
Versus 14. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So, as you're doing that and you're checking over your shoulder, and then whenever you look back, a book off of one of the shelves comes towards your head and you just dodge it. So it, like, launches over. So everybody else, you hear, like, a book that just slides against the floor. I mean, it makes that kind of, like, that floppy open book noise whenever it goes up of, like, pages moving, and then it just kind of, like, slams and slides against the floor. So to all of you, it just looks like Rain just threw a book. Like, because it came from where she was.
Yeah.
Holly grabs her bow and points it at the book. And, just, like, says something or whatever. And May's like, she's asking, like, did that book do something to you?
I think the idea is kind of clicking in Rain's head, and she's slightly not sure if because it is knowledge in books. But yeah, she's like, do it. Awaken mind.
To Holly?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just, like, as the second that you're like, do it, that moment, I mean, she just, like, lets go and shoots the book. And, yeah, I mean, like, hits it with the arrow, and it just kind of, like, spins a little bit, like, as it slides against the floor. She gets another arrow that's ready, and then... Okay, so, yeah, she actually gets hit.
Gizmo hearing books flying around is not too sure what's going on, but it's like he's like jostling around like in his hands like a flame strike to see if he can get a reaction out of something, like getting it closer to like a bookshelf.
You're casting Flame Strike?
I'm teasing at casting flame strike to see if something will get mad at me.
Gizmo, do it. I hate to say it, but burn this fucking place to the ground.
Zoldak just braces himself and, expecting more books to start flying. So he's going to take the dodge action.
Actually,
Okay.
Gizmo,
Yeah, I mean, click on whatever spell that you're doing. Like, rather than saying that you're going to do it, make it... take your hand off the chess piece.
Let me do that one. That's better. Oh, wow.
Okay, so are you doing this in the restricted section, like near you, or?
I am doing it to a point far enough away where it won't hurt anybody
Okay,
in the immediate area.
okay. So yeah,
Like, I guess like above us or something, like further away.
okay, yeah. I mean, there's this area isn't like too huge, but I mean, yeah, it's definitely big enough that you can do it in the same area, but so that like
Yeah.
none of the debris or anything's gonna hit you guys. So, without even making any rolls or anything, yeah, so Gizmo, you just, like, she shoots the book, a book comes and hits Holly, and she immediately has another arrow, and she, like, looks back to, you, like, see who hit her. And then Gizmo, you're just like, alright, I'm tired of this. You pull out your holy symbol, point it at, just, like, entire, like, 2 of the shelves of the book. Well, what is it, 10-foot radius? Yeah, so you could take out 3, almost 4 bookshelves with this. And you just do shatter, and suddenly to everybody there's just like this explosion and shards of paper and all of this like wood debris and everything just completely just like explodes as Gizmo says, I think, yeah, I guess shatter is verbal, somatic, and material. So I mean, yeah, like Gizmo would say something in Dwarven, like just like the rune language, and yep, it just like explodes and everything. And you just hear, like, this great big rumbling in the library whenever you do that. Like, it's just like an earthquake, but nothing shakes. It just sounds, it's like... Whenever you do that.
Rain under her breath, if anybody's close enough to hear her, is just like, is this what you want? Like, she's kind of off to the side, but, like...
Did she keep that book that fell the first time? Or did she, like, put it back on the... I think she put it back on the shelf, right?
The How to Get Away with Murder one, I I think she left it on the ground because there was like another sound that she went after. Right? Or no, she put the first one back, went down, got the master, like went to the library station, went to the old section, heard the drop, and then went back up.
Okay, so she doesn't have that first book?
No, she does not have the first book.
Okay. So, yeah, okay. After some time, I mean, after, you know, like, the debris is falling and stuff, you kind of hear, like, this sliding that's over to the, whatever you call it, the entrance to this little reserved zone. You just hear this, like, and it just seems to be getting louder. And it just sounds like, I mean, you know, just something sliding on the floor.
A book sliding across the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mira's gonna ask, is this whole place alive?
That's what
Probably.
Gizmo's kind of gathering.
So, as Nira... Wait, Nira was the one that asked that?
Yeah.
She was the one that asked if the place was alive?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as she asked that, suddenly everybody sees that there's like a book that's on the floor, and Rain, you recognize it immediately, like the binding and the coloring and all that stuff. It's How to Get Away with Murder. Nobody has enough time to read what it is, but suddenly it just kind of flies open, and it seems to have all this teeth, and it starts just chomping at Nira. So it actually makes 2 attack rolls against her.
Armor class 16.
Okay, the first one
One.
obviously misses. The second one hits.
They're like, what you calls it? Harry Potter. The book with teeth.
So she takes 13 piercing damage.
Whatever the hell that thing was called. They had to stroke this spine or whatever to open it.
Zoldak's gonna strike at the book.
Okay. Yeah, it is just kind of like flying around the air and just like chomping at her, and it's just like kind of biting her. So, you know, I mean, she's just like, oh, what the hell?
Yeah. Zoldak's gonna go, let's see, I get 3 attacks, and if I do one end attack, it's 4. Actually, wait, that should be... Well, it's the same attack roll, but...
I think he killed it.
Okay, so the first one misses, but does that hit Nira?
Yeah. 'Cause
Okay,
her armor class
so
is
your
16.
first damage hits Nira,
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
but the other 3 do hit the book.
Okay, so she's got 9 health, so she's not looking good. But the next one, 15,
How does she
12...
have 9 health?
Because she only has 36 hit points to start.
No.
So that other attack roll I just made because I rolled the glaive instead, just so I could click for the damage. So, 38 damage to the book.
Okay, yeah, so with your third hit, I mean, you just knock it out of the air and the bind comes apart and it just, like, flutters apart. So, you believe that you have, air quote, killed the book.
Yeah. Zoldak says, I'm sorry, Nira.
Yeah, so at this point, May, you know, just, like, has his club out and he casts Magic Stone and he's like, alright, so, like, now this place is actually starting to attack us, you know.
Rain's gonna rush over and like look at the cover of the book, like pick it up off the ground or something, and see.
Okay. Yep, you pick it up and it says, How to Get Away with Murder.
Is it taunting us? That it's gonna murder us?
Rain gathers what pieces she can from the book and like tucks it into her bag.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're able to get, Zoldak, aside from, like, slashing the cover and stuff, you imagine that the book was magical or something to resist the type of hits that he was hitting, that he didn't just chop it in half on the first hit, but just basically the binding broke in half, so yeah, you're able to recover, like, you know, it's in, like, there's a couple pages here, and then, like, 2 large chunks, you know, so, yep.
Nira's gonna ask May if he has any good berries. She's...
Yeah, May is like, well, I didn't get to prepare any yet today, but yeah, I still have 27 left over from yesterday, so how many do you want? Like 15? Because it's D2,
Yeah.
don't forget that.
Yeah.
So roll 15 D2. Or roll whatever you want D2.
Let's do 12.
Okay. 12, okay. So he has 15 good berries left. He is actually just going to... He's going to use 2 first-level spell slots to give himself 20 more, just in case. Everybody has all their... It's as if they had a long rest as well, so everybody has all their stuff.
I guess as Rain's like putting it away, I guess she would do like, I don't know, like maybe an Arcana check or something to like see like if I feel like it's like if I could feel anything from the book. Or would that be some?
That would it would be more. I don't know. Just roll it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, basically what you get is that you believe that the book was and possibly still is magical because of how it, well it resisted Zoldak's attacks. I would say that's the limit.
Okay, I guess as she's like putting it away, she would kind of mutter like, "What are you trying to tell me?" And like whatever, like shoves it like in her bag.
Yeah, even at this point, there's still just kind of like maybe some pieces of paper that are falling from the air, from the shatter, you know, and it's like the dust is still kind of settling from that. That book came very fast towards Nira.
I think that we burn this place to the ground.
Zoldax just kind of turns his head and just says, "Well, I'm debating whether it's worth even. Do we pursue any more investigation, or do we just leave? I mean,
They won't
we
let
could
you.
just walk
They
outside,
won't let
right?
you. They won't let you.
Who's they?
We'll see about that.
Well, all right.
Ooh, Gizmo taunts the book.
Any book in particular?
Bookshelf next to the bookshelves he destroyed.
You're next. Okay, so how do you taunt them?
I guess if I called them spineless, it'd be kind of dumb, wouldn't it?
Well, call them spineless.
I don't know. He tries to agitate him and threatens to do another shatter to destroy more books. I guess to see if like they'll throw something at him.
Nothing seems to happen.
They attack Nira and everybody else.
So, then what Rain would like to do is not necessarily cast it, but prep the casting of... it's probably going to send... Okay. Kind of like hold her hand out and like kind of like hold flame in her hand without like shooting it to the ground or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like the spell is like half cast or whatever.
Right.
If that makes sense. And
Yeah, I mean, it's technically what happens whenever you hold an action with a spell. You technically cast it, but it's just like you're holding on to the magic or something weird.
yeah, so then Rain shouts, you know, like, "Whoever we are, show yourself or I burn this place to the ground." And it's up to you what kind of role you want for that, like intimidation or deception, because I don't think Rain actually wants to burn it to the ground.
Gizmo will though.
Yeah, I mean, you hear whispers again, and it says, "Don't you want to know who he is?" That time it doesn't echo, it just says it one time.
Do we all hear that?
Yes.
Zoldak says, "Well, I'm kind of tired of these games, and I'd rather just get to the point. How can we find who he is?" Well,
Gizmo yells, he doesn't care who he is, who they are, or we. We want answers, or I'm gonna set ablaze the entire building.
She does. She does. She does.
Of course, I get destructive wave. That would be a big ass in the building.
Zoldak's going to, not that he necessarily is familiar with magic, or he's not very knowledgeable in magic, but he does know that at the very least, books, magic, they kind of go hand in hand. So he's going to at least pull a few books, or a book or two off the shelf, and just like check the cover, the title, page through it, see if like anything abnormal happens.
Okay. So whenever, like Zoldak picks up one and is like paging through it and picks up another one, whenever you touch the third one, you all hear a noise that just like goes off in the distance. Rain, you recognize it as another book falling down on the ground. Like slamming down somewhere. To everybody else, I mean, there's just like a loud kind of like bang or something. But Rain, since she's heard it 2 to 3 times before, she can identify it.
I guess Rain like kind of sighs and like cancels the bonfire, like fuck, and just flies toward the sound.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, just suddenly Rain leaves everybody and just seems to go towards the center of the library again.
Gizmo's tired of this crap. Oh.
And you do what?
Smash another bookshelf.
Yeah, I mean, it's inanimate, so it's right there. So, I mean, you just, swing your hammer, do damage. Or roll the damage. Yeah. So, yep, I mean, you just, like, hit the bookcase and, like, a couple of the scrolls and stuff, I mean, just kind of, like, shatter and fall off and do all that kind of stuff. And, yeah, roll a dexterity saving throw. Okay, yeah, I mean, like, a book from a faraway shelf comes over and tries to hit you, and you just knock it away with your shield.
Yeah, Zoldak, after realizing that searching the books isn't really going to get him anywhere, and then noticing that Rain, moved away from the group, he's just going to say, come on, we should stick together, and we're not getting anywhere sitting around here. Let's search the rest of the library. There has to be something somewhere that's obvious.
So Rain, as you go towards the center, yeah, I mean, like, if everybody else kind of just, like, follows,
Before Gizmo follows, he wants to do another hammer attack, but I'm also gonna divine strike it on the ground to see if something happens.
Oh, so you're striking, like, the floor of the library?
Yeah, like, I would put, like, a big dent in the floor.
Okay.
Ooh, there's the 4 for that, and then there's the... Ooh, there's a 1. Yay!
Yep, so that's a 4.
Okay.
Another 1, too.
So that's 6.
So... Are you doing this in the restricted area, or whenever you're out in the...
I'm doing it in the same area we were just...
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, you hit it, and a nearby book flies off and does the sliding thing, and then just starts to, like, chomp at you. So it gets 2...
Fucking egg. Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
so both of those hit. 34 piercing damage. As the book just starts chomping at you, I mean, it's just like, it hits you just, I guess, in a weak spot, like under your arm and just up in your neck and stuff, and it's just piercing through your armor and just biting you viciously.
Yeah, well, it can take 14 electric damage.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you definitely hit it, so, do you want to push it away from you? Like, do lightning and push it away from you, or...?
Sure.
Okay, yeah, so you launch it away 10 feet, so and it's just like, blah, and it just, like, slides on the floor again. turns towards you and starts chomping and like slowly coming towards you. But yeah, now you get like a free hit on it. Okay, so yep, 18 hits. You do 9 damage to it.
The other 3.
I guess Zoldak would step into seeing another book.
Okay, yeah, I mean there's enough time. There's like no initiative with this since he launched it away. Yeah, you will get like an opportunity attack. So whatever your I guess like well, however many attacks you get with an opportunity attack, I kind of forget.
Okay, just one. So
Okay.
First one would have been 14.
So a 14 does miss. But Gizmo, you do an additional. What is that? 12. Okay, yeah, damage to it. And it seems to be coming apart, but it's still alive. So it's gonna come up and bite you again now. Except this time it seems to only attack once.
God fucking damn it.
13 piercing damage. So now Zoldak, you get a full turn.
I'm just gonna blow that again. Just fucking hell. of it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So whenever it bites you this time and shock it, you know, this time you do whatever type of damage, and yeah, and it just like blows apart. Either into flames if it's lightning, or it just bursts into pages, you know, into like a big confetti.
I'm turning it into a pile of ash.
Okay. Yeah. So
At this point.
Smoldering.
yeah, like you know, it goes to bite you and just throw it and just cinders. So, that happened. Rain, you were in the center of the library. Yeah.
Is the book on the floor?
So, just casually searching, I mean, you know, you're getting pretty good at this. You know, you circle around, you can't see anything on the first floor, you go up and you go second floor. Yep. It seems to be towards the direction that they came from. Initially.
Okay. Yeah, Rain will fly over.
Okay.
And assuming there's, if like, she sees the book, does the cover say anything?
The cover says, Helena, or Helena, whatever.
Does that have any meaning to Rain?
No.
Isn't that May's deity?
No, that is...
Ilona.
Or
Ilona, yeah.
So yeah, I guess then Rain will hesitantly pick up the book and page through it.
Okay. Yep, she picks up the book and pages through it, and it just seems to be a bunch of blank pages again.
Oh, my mouse is like giving me trouble. Hold on. I guess in that case she'll kind of like hold. She's not gonna like put the book in her bag, but she'll kind of like hold on to it, I guess.
Okay.
For a minute.
As you're up here, you hear kind of just like a ruckus and just a little bit of like lightning that you recognize as gizmos is going on downstairs.
I guess Rain, you know, having been in the library for a while and not shouting, but like kind of talking at the library, would say, you know, where are the answers I'm looking for?
Repeat that again. At least the tone that you're doing it in, like the
Where are
initial part.
Yeah, where are the answers I'm looking for?
Here, 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 here.
That's not cryptic or anything.
This is a very large here. Where in here?
And that's just gonna ignore you.
It's more quiet.
You hear the chair scraping sound again.
I guess she'll go after the chair this time, if it sounds like the first time.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it seems to be coming from like the central area. So you go like to the balcony, and I mean, at that point there isn't anything making a noise anymore. But you can see in the center there's 5 tables, and I guess hold on a second. So this... I do have a little map. It's one of my grade A crappy maps.
Grade A.
But it's super laggy on my computer, at least. Like,
Gimme.
sometimes the shit doesn't even load. Let me make sure Fog of War is off. Okay. Yeah, dude, this is lagging so bad. It's crazy. I put too much poop into it. Okay, so this layer is the first floor. Not the entire first floor, but basically focused on the center. So where the second and third floors are circular, the first floor is like this squared off kind of look. So can everybody see it? And I would recommend putting the zoom on like 50% or something, like, because it's kind of large. But basically focused here, that the centermost table. I don't have any of the chairs or stuff here, but 2 of the chairs of it are pulled out. Each table has like 4 chairs. And these are just desks as well, like tables that have 4 chairs as well. The rest are obviously bookcases that extend into the distance.
Or I guess Rain would be like, what is this, a bizarre invitation?
Yeah, so not that people are exactly where they are, but I'm just gonna start putting people down.
We're so tiny.
Yeah. So the what do you call it? Yeah, Rain, you are on the correct side. Everybody else is in the top right. That is where the what do you call it is? Yes, exactly. So I mean, we're obviously like in the distance way off there, but yeah. Like that's generally where we are kind of. Rain, you were on that side.
Gizmo comes up to this desk and flips it out of rage. Never mind.
You're like,
Gizmo stumps his toe and then goes back to the group.
yeah, you kick the table, and yeah, I mean it just slides a little bit, but doesn't really do anything, and yeah, you come back. Yeah, so assuming everybody just kind of leaves the restricted area and is, yeah, just kind of hovering there. Rain, you're on the 2nd floor balcony here.
Okay.
Holding onto a book that says Helena.
Rain will carry the book with her, but she'll fly down to that center table.
Okay. Everybody sees Rain obviously go down to the center table.
Yeah, Zoldak's gonna head over.
Yeah, and as I guess everybody's kind of heading over, she's not touching the chair, but I guess she'll like put her hand on the table, and I guess in a similar way to what she was talking with the sarcophagi, it's just kind of like, you know, when the voice had said like, you know, like here, like she'll be like, I'm here.
Okay. Is she saying that out loud?
No, that's like in her head.
Oh,
Or
okay.
I guess awakened mind toward the library itself.
Okay. Whenever you do that, what did you say again?
I'm here.
Okay. You just hear, I mean, everybody hears it's the same old whisper thing, but it just says, good, 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 good.
Good. Zoldak obviously is just like.
Yeah, and I guess, yeah, May's just like, hey, Rain, you're not, like, talking to this place, are you? Like,
That is exactly what I'm doing, May.
Is it saying anything?
Gizmo grips his shield in case he has to knock Rain out again.
yeah. It's like, we've seen this pattern before.
Is it saying? Did it say anything other than good?
It said here before, but not anything since then.
Whatever, I guess Rain says, whatever the answers to this place are, it says that they're here and these chairs moved.
Yeah, Zoldak's just kind of looking around, kind of speaking to the library.
Yeah, now that we're in this central area, May's going to turn off his belt thing, of course, too.
Yeah, he just kind of says, "Well, okay, we're here. Now what?" Do we need to sit down?
Sure, I'll bite. Rain
After
takes
his
a seat
attempt,
on one
wants
of
to
the
flip
chairs.
another table.
What's that, Gizmo?
Gizmo wants to flip another table because he's angry.
Okay. Which one? The rectangular ones or the circular ones?
I'm gonna flip this one.
Okay. Yeah, with the 13, it seems too heavy to move. They're quite large. So Rain, do you sit in one of the open seats?
That's
Rain?
a broken table, and Gizmo feels better.
So, yeah, so Rain, which seat do you sit in?
One of the ones that have already been pulled out.
Okay. Yep. So yeah, I mean, like you sit there and nothing seems to happen. Gizmo, as you go to hit the table, your hammer just bounces off of it. But you hear that same rumbling again.
I guess Rain will be like, "Don't you like that?" This time, like, audibly.
Rain, what book do you have there?
I guess she'll kind of like hold it out to Zoldak to read and be like, "What does the cover say to you?"
What does it say to Zoldak?
To Zoldak, it is the name of your wife.
That's kind of fucked up.
Oh,
Or I should say,
you guys hear me?
your ex-wife.
Yeah, it cut out there. I'm sorry. What did it say?
So, to you, the book says the name of your wife, which was Helena.
Okay. Zoldak kind of like freezes and kind of is at a loss for words because he doesn't quite know what to say. He says that's the name of my wife.
And even worse, it's not in any print or anything. It's in some kind of like scripty language, and you actually recognize it as her handwriting too.
Yeah.
Terrain, it's just another like, okay, yeah, like this person just like went crazy on the cover of the book
Yeah.
whenever they were, getting it like gold embossed or whatever. But yeah, to you, I mean, it's her name and her handwriting.
Yeah.
This place has got jokes.
That's my wife's name and even her handwriting.
Rain.
Let me see what's on the inside.
Yeah, Rain offers, like, hands him the book. Like, she just says it's blank to me.
Some sort of weird magic going on.
Even with my special power, I can't read it. There's nothing there.
Let me see. So Zodak's gonna open the book.
Mm-hmm. So as you go to open up the book, the pages just seem to be like flipping by and flipping by. So to everybody else, it just looks like it's a continuous carousel of like pages revolving and revolving. Zoldak, to you, you're completely stunned and you're taken back to memories of whenever you were like with your family and like with your kids and just like playing in Hamlet and they had like a festival there and everything was going on. You are like in the Matrix, sucked back into that memory. But to everybody else, you were just paralyzed staring at the book as the pages just keep like turning and turning. So it just looks like you're frozen there staring at the book, but to you, you're reliving all of these memories of whenever you were with like your family. It's like whenever you went to the war, everything was awesome, just like you and your dogs, and you had you were actually like you had a bunch of sheep as well, and that's actually how you made like your keep in Hamlet. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Zoldak's obviously caught up.
Yep.
In that, not really saying anything as he's
Yeah.
Rain
I
will
guess
get up.
different emotions kind of cross his face, like, there for a moment. There's, like, it's kind of like flipping between like joy and grief and
Yeah, so in your head, it's a full-on immersion. Like, you almost think that you're there, like this is a dream and you're doing it. To everybody else, you are completely motionless. So, like, to you, you may think that you're reacting like you're just looking through the old album book and you're like doing all this stuff. But to everybody else, you are like dead still, like, whatever you would call it, like deer in the headlights. Yeah, like
yeah.
you're like, "Brrr," like staring at the book.
Rain will kind of get up and walk like beside / behind Zoldak and like peer over his shoulder and like look into the book.
Mm-hmm. So as you look into the book, the same exact thing now, except it is with Zoldak, like Zoldak's memories as well. So to you, this is completely new. You don't know who half of these people are. You're seeing perhaps younger versions of people that were in Hamlet that you did see before, and you're like, wait, did I recognize that person? But it's not even enough time to like think about it. It just keeps going. But the whole time you realize that you are somehow next to Zoldak whenever he's doing all of it. And Zoldak, you are aware that Rain has joined you in all of your memories as well. You're like, oh yeah, Rain was there the whole time.
Yeah.
So to everybody, Rain is just kind of like behind and just kind of glazed over look again.
Does Zoldak have control of himself? Because at some point he's eventually going to shut them. If he's able to. He's not.
No. To you, you are just living out these dreams and everything, but to everybody else, you're just completely stunned. Like, in terms of you, CJ, having control over Zoldak, you do not. He is paralyzed right now.
Gizmo take the book from him?
Yeah, you could try. What is your... what is your pass, or like, what's your strength modifier, CJ?
My strength modifier is...
+4?
+5.
Okay.
So, my passive strength, if that's what you're looking for.
Exactly.
15,
yeah.
Which he would beat it then.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, Gizmo, you go to pull the book, and he does seem to resist, but yeah, you do pull it out. And whenever you pull it out, yeah, like Zoldak and Rain, you just completely snap out, and you're like, "Buh!" You know.
Zoldak is still like, this would be when like the emotions just
kind
of cross his face, and
he's yeah, this is like, you thought that you had seen your wife the last time whenever you went to go be a mercenary, but you just got to see her again and your kids again.
So it's like it's really weird because like on one hand he's like, I got to see my wife and kids again, and that's, he never thought he'd be able to.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, it wasn't even really real.
Yeah, he knows it's like a lie. Yeah.
So it's like he can't. He's split between it's almost too much to process for him. Like he's split between like, do I burst out in grief because I was just shown a lie, or am I thankful for it to relive it again?
Yeah, Nira, I mean, is just like, like hand on shoulder, like, like, Zoldak, what's wrong? And she would have known Helena as well, so like if you say, I mean, like she knew whenever you said Helena, she knew that was your wife, so like, yeah.
Yeah, he's still trying to form words because he can't. His eyes start watering up, but he says, it showed me my past and my family back before I left for the war, and everything that it put me through my memories again.
Yeah, I mean, she's just, kind of like, I don't know, whatever she would do to comfort you or something,
Yeah.
I don't know. Rain, how do you react?
I guess Rain just kind of like, obviously these are like Zoldak's memories. She kind of like he's probably not looking at her, but she just kind of like nods like in acceptance of what she's seen, but is just dead ass staring at the book. Like turns to it in like Gizmo's hand to see like did the title change? Did
Yeah.
like is it affecting him?
Gizmo, once he took it, proceeded to just close it and sit on it.
Okay. Sit on it, like on a chair or on the ground, or...
It's under his shield. On the ground.
So you're sitting on your shield?
Yeah.
Which is
Okay.
With the book
Yeah.
under it.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, so, I mean, from what you saw whenever you snapped out of it, I mean, you basically, like, quickly to analytical, you didn't notice anything about the book changing. You just noticed that you're like, but the pages were blank before. Like, what the hell?
Right. I guess Rain kind of shouting is like, we saw what you wanted us to see, now what?
This place is cuckoo.
Yeah, Zoldak just kind of, is trying to hold back, like, not crying, but does.
Yeah. So, the two... So this chair was out, and this chair is out. I mean, everybody hears it, but this chair gets pulled out now as well. I'm gonna delete those because you guys are gonna remember where they are.
Right.
Like we see the chair come out.
What the hell? I can't select that one.
Or does
There
it
we
just
go.
happen? Or like,
I mean, it
look
makes the
over.
same scraping noise, yeah, and so you all clearly see this time that it's moving, and it's out. Same
Rain
noise,
kinda
everything.
rolls her eyes. She's like, let me help you, and just pulls out the last chair and sits on it.
Yeah, so Holly like leaps up at the table and is just like staring at the like at the center, whatever table. And is just like, like what the fuck? Like has her
So
bow
Rain
out.
just pull out the last chair and just fucking sit down on it.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay, so whenever you sit down in that chair, it suddenly launches about probably 50 feet into the air with you on it as well, which would, under normal circumstances, be really horrible, but you have wings, so...
Yeah.
Everybody... Actually, I'm gonna roll something real quick.
Does the book Gizmo's sitting on try to do anything?
Okay, so May has to make a dexterity saving throw. As the chair comes down... Okay, and it doesn't hit him. But, the chair launches up, and then it falls down or whatever, and everybody's like, what the hell? And just like, ah! And it comes down super fast and tries to hit May. Nothing happens. Rain presumably doesn't let herself fall 50 feet.
No, she pops wings, bonus action, and it's just like, is that it?
Yeah. Whenever the chair comes down to the ground, I mean, it's near May, and he has to, like, dive out of the way, but it comes down and it just crashes, and, I mean, it's in pieces. It's not like it just, like, comes down randomly and just, like, sticks in place.
Zoldak, kind of starting to gather himself again, says, I think there's something each of us needs to do or see or something to get whatever needs to happen here to happen. That's why the chairs move out.
I guess Rain shouts down. It's like, so does that make 3? And I just messed up the pattern.
I don't know.
Zoldak, what happens if you sit
Still
in the
no
chair that
response.
came out for your book?
All the
Zoldak.
tables fly up and just smush Rain. She
Yeah,
fucks all
Zoldak
up.
gets up and, without saying a word, just sits down.
Rain will like kind of fly toward his general direction, and like if he flies up,
Yeah.
grab him.
Right. Yeah, so he sits down, and, yeah, nothing seems to happen. No launching. Yet.
Rain, were there any other books that you came across that seemed significant?
Ones in pieces.
I guess I'm trying to remember personally. So there was How to Get Away with Murder, which I currently have in my bag, and then there was the one before that. Or there was one after that with my name on it.
Mm-hmm.
Rain kind of like goes like, oh, yes, and she flies back over to where she came from before, which I guess would be on this side, and tries to find
Correct.
the book that had her name on it.
Yeah, you remember it. It's very tall, red. Yep.
So yeah, Rain will grab it, assuming it's still there, and kind of land back down here and kind of like stand beside Zoldak at the table.
This one for
And-
you, then.
Yeah, she kind of like slams it down like, this one's mine.
It just seems to be like a large red book. Rain, you definitely know that it's yours, but it no longer says Rain on it.
Right.
No longer
Oh,
what now?
Rain,
I've already gone through my nightmare.
really? Okay. So who's the third chair for? The third one that's currently out.
Yeah,
That's a
so
good
there's
question. I haven't
technically two other chairs that are out right now. To the bottom and to the right.
I guess Rain will try to sit in, like, because she sat in this one initially. I guess she'll try to sit in this one to see if anything happens, like, when she sits in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Because that might have been the first one that moves. She doesn't know which of the, either bottom or the right one moved
Right.
first.
Right. Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, so she'll move down to this one and just, like, sit in it for a moment, like, just in case.
Okay. So whenever you sit down into it, you hear whispers and it says, "They're getting it. They're getting it. They're getting it."
Gizmo tells us the voices to piss off.
Your voice echoes.
So who's the final?
I guess Nira will say, I think Zoldak, when you started searching through books, one fell out or made a sound somewhere, and Rain, you found it. Maybe whoever's next has to search through or whoever searches through the books. That's what causes the book to fall somewhere else.
It's
And
good
then you
logic,
go-
Nira.
Huh?
It's good logic, Nira.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I guess May would offer up, and he's like, well, I guess maybe I'm the only one that hasn't interacted with the books yet, as Holly shot him and Nira fought one. So May just kind of like walks over to the nearest, bookcase and just kind of like grabs one and holds it out and just kind of like looks at you guys. Just like looks back at the book and puts it back. And he just, goes a little bit deeper and he just like kind of grabs another one randomly, opens it up, flips through it, shakes it a little bit, doesn't seem to be doing anything, and he's like, I'm sure something will happen at some point.
Yeah, Nira just kind of Nira nods.
Maybe it's Holly.
Yeah, Zoldak says in Elvish, Holly, maybe you're the one who needs to...
Way up on the third floor, suddenly another book slams down on the ground.
I got it. Rain just fucking flies.
Okay. Yeah, May's just like, oh, was that me? Oh, God! I mean, Alona. So he just
Like,
yeah.
you fucked up.
He kind of like runs out here, and he's like still holding onto the book that he grabbed. Seems to be like a small yellow one.
Says.
It's about making tea in really hot weather.
Okay, so Rain flies to the 3rd floor.
Yep. So she flies up to the 3rd floor, and like looks around, and finally spots a book that is out of order. It's down on the ground.
She approaches it, and what does it say on the cover?
What it says on the cover will be revealed the next time we play.
Oh, daddy. I want to see May's fire sequence.
That's what it says.
Cutscene.
That's what it says on the cover. No, yeah, like,
Oh, what a metagame book.
you're like, what?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. But yeah, seriously. He's gonna have to go through the trial of fire at Mount Monahakalugi.
Or play
Or
through
the-
fire.
Or the
Flames
Ring
on
of
Expert.
Fire, actually, I think it's called.
Yeah.
The Ring of Fire!
Oh, man,
Yeah. But, yep. So, we get, let's see here, for killing some books, solving some library riddles, making your way to the library, everybody gets 5,000 experience.
1285.
128,500.
Oh yeah. Sweet.
Okay.
I am going to, because Nera's behind a little bit, I'm going to level her up, but I'm going to do that before our next session.
Yeah.
I'm going to bump her up
She's
to
level
level
7.
Yeah, I'm going to bump her up after the XP that we've gotten. I think the last time she leveled up was whenever we left Barovia, and I think we've leveled up like once or twice since then. So I'm going to bump her up to like 9 or 10, probably.
Yeah, 9's probably good.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say we're level 13, so
Yeah.
I was gonna say you should see what I wonder what it would be in the 3-5 rules. There was that leadership feat. Oh no.
Oh, you mean for the whatever you call it, not the
I think
Concords.
that one, the max you could have, like, if you had like a high leadership score,
Yeah.
the highest possible one, the maximum your followers